Welcome back to another empowering episode of Journey to Success. I'm Emily Carter, your host, and today we're diving into a topic that shapes our futures and fuels our ambitions: developing a long-term career. Joining us is an extraordinary guest, Dr. Catherine Ellis, a career strategist, best-selling author, and executive coach who's guided thousands to build fulfilling, sustainable careers that stand the test of time. Catherine, it's an absolute thrill to have you with us today.
Thank you, Emily. I'm truly honored to be here and explore a subject that's not just about climbing ladders but about crafting a professional life filled with purpose, growth, and resilience.
I'm so excited to soak up your wisdom. Building a career that lasts feels daunting with today's fast-changing world. Catherine, let's start with the big picture. Why is developing a long-term career so essential for success and fulfillment, and how does it shape our lives?
That's a fantastic question, Emily, and it really gets to the core of why a long-term career matters. A sustainable career isn't just about paychecks or titles, it's about aligning your work with your values, skills, and passions to create a life of impact and joy. It's essential because it provides stability, growth, and a sense of identity, allowing you to adapt to change while contributing meaningfully over decades. A well-built career fosters resilience, opens opportunities, and lets you leave a legacy, whether through innovation, mentorship, or service. Without that vision, work can feel like a treadmill, busy but directionless. I think of someone like Warren Buffett, who's built a 70-year career by focusing on long-term value, saying, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." His patient strategy made him a legend. Early in my own journey, I was a corporate analyst in Boston, chasing quick promotions but feeling empty. My job didn't spark joy. Burnout hit hard. When I started prioritizing learning and relationships over short-term wins, my path cleared. I pivoted to coaching, wrote books, and found fulfillment. A long-term career doesn't just secure your future, it shapes a life where work becomes a source of pride and purpose, growing richer with every step.
That's such a compelling way to frame it. Catherine, a career as a tree you plant for shade. Buffett's patience is so inspiring. You mentioned your shift from analyst to coach. Can you walk us through how someone can start developing a long-term career, especially if they feel stuck or unsure of their path?
Absolutely, Emily. The first step is to define your core values and vision. A lasting career aligns with what matters to you: freedom, impact, creativity, security. Ask, what kind of life do I want my work to support, and what legacy do I want? Then set a loose 5 or 10-year vision, not rigid but guiding. I draw inspiration from Oprah Winfrey, who built her empire by staying true to connection and storytelling, saying, "Your job is not just to do what you're paid for, but to do what you were born to do." Her clarity shaped decades. When I was stuck, I chased titles for status, analyst, manager, but felt hollow. I'd work late, joyless. Inspired by Oprah, I listed my values: growth, helping others, and envisioned coaching. I took one course, a small step, and it led to certifications, clients, a book. I coached a client named Sarah, a retail worker lost in dead-end shifts, thinking careers were for lucky people. We used Oprah's vision. She valued creativity, wanted design. She sketched nightly, built a portfolio, and now designs for a brand. Defining values and vision isn't fluffy, it's a compass for a career that endures, guiding you through fog to a path that feels right. Another step is to commit to continuous learning. Markets shift, skills evolve, you stay relevant by growing. Take courses, read, seek mentors, even 10 minutes daily. I learned this from Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, who says, "Be a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all." His curiosity revived a giant. I used to coast, assuming my degree was enough, then tech outpaced me. Nadella's mindset pushed me to study coaching yearly. It kept me ahead, growing my firm. Sarah, inspired by Nadella, took free design webinars. Her skills landed freelance gigs, then a full-time role. Learning isn't a chore, it's fuel for a career that thrives long-term.
I love those starting points, Catherine. Values and learning as career anchors. Oprah and Nadella make it so vivid. But what about when setbacks hit, like job loss or rejection? How do you keep building a career then?
Oh, Emily, setbacks, layoffs, rejections can feel like walls, shaking your confidence. The key is to reframe setbacks as pivots. They're not endings but redirects, pushing you to refine your path. One tool is reflection. List what you learned and how it strengthens you. I draw from J.K. Rowling, who faced joblessness before Harry Potter, saying, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Her resilience wrote history. When I was laid off from a firm, I spiraled, thought my career was over. Rowling's pivot inspired me. I journaled lessons, networking, adaptability, and took a temp role to learn coaching. It launched my practice, now global. I coached a client named Michael, a salesman fired after a merger, feeling worthless. He wanted to give up. Inspired by Rowling, he listed skills, persuasion, grit, and pivoted to consulting. One call led to a contract, then a firm. Reframing setbacks builds resilience, turning career stumbles into steps forward. Another strategy is leveraging networks. Reach out, coffee chats, LinkedIn messages, for advice or leads. Relationships bridge gaps. I learned this from Michelle Obama, who says, "Success isn't about how far you get alone, but who you lift as you climb." Her connections fuel her impact. Post-layoff, I emailed a mentor. She linked me to a coaching group, sparking growth. Michael, inspired by Obama, messaged a colleague. One intro got him a gig. Networks and pivots don't erase pain, they guide you to new career chapters, keeping your long-term vision alive.
That's so empowering, Catherine. Setbacks as pivots and networks as bridges. Rowling and Obama bring it to life. You've mentioned incredible figures like Buffett and Winfrey. Are there other famous people whose long-term careers inspire you?
Oh, definitely, Emily. Enduring careers offer so many lessons. Take Nelson Mandela, who built a 50-year career of justice through focus, saying, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." His learning, law, leadership, freed a nation. When my coaching hit a plateau, Mandela's study inspired me. I took psychology courses, deepening my work. My book sold out. I coached a client named Olivia, a nurse stuck in routine. Mandela's growth led her to train in administration. She's now a director. Another is Serena Williams, whose 20-year tennis career blends grit and reinvention, saying, "Every setback is a setup for a comeback." She pivoted to business, thriving post-court. When a workshop flopped, I leaned on Serena, studied feedback, relaunched. It packed venues. Olivia, inspired by Williams, learned budgeting. Her unit's efficiency soared. Then there's Angela Merkel, who led Germany for 16 years with steady adaptation, saying, "You can't solve problems by hoping they'll go away." Her focus built stability. I coached a client named Ethan, a coder whose skills aged out. Merkel's adaptability led him to AI courses. He's now a lead developer. These icons show long-term careers aren't static. They're crafted with learning, grit, and vision.
Those stories are so uplifting, Catherine. Mandela, Williams, Merkel, they show career endurance. What about when you feel burned out or tempted to coast? How do you stay engaged long-term?
Burnout and coasting are real traps, Emily. They dull your spark and stall growth. The key is reconnecting with purpose. Remind yourself why you work, impact, family, joy, and let it reignite you. One tool is a why journal. Write weekly what drives you. I draw from Maya Angelou, who wrote for Truth, saying, "The desire to reach for the stars is ambitious. The desire to reach hearts is wise." Her purpose fueled decades. When I burned out, coaching felt rote. I'd rush sessions, uninspired. Angelou's why pulled me back. I journaled my love for growth, and it revived my talks, doubling clients. I coached a client named Rachel, a teacher drained by grading, coasting on old plans. She felt flat. Inspired by Angelou, she wrote about inspiring kids. Her lessons bloomed, earning awards. Purpose isn't abstract, it's a fire that keeps your career vibrant. Another strategy is scheduling renewal. Block time for rest, hobbies, or learning to recharge. Burnout can't win if you're fueled. Arianna Huffington says, renewal is the key to longevity. Her rest rebuilt her empire. I used to skip breaks, crashing. Now I walk daily, sparking ideas. My firm grew. Rachel, inspired by Huffington, painted weekends. It lifted her teaching. Renewal and purpose sustain engagement, making your career a marathon, not a sprint.
That's so revitalizing, Catherine. Purpose and renewal as career fuel. Angelou and Huffington make it clear. How do we balance ambition with well-being to ensure a career lasts?
Balancing ambition and well-being is like tuning an instrument. Too tight, it snaps. Too loose, it's flat. The key is integrating self-care into ambition. Set bold goals but weave in rest, connection, and health to sustain them. One tool is a weekly check-in, rate energy, joy, progress, and adjust, say, cut hours or add a walk. I draw from Tony Robbins, who balances drive with vitality, saying, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. His rituals power his empire. I used to chase goals, 60-hour weeks, ignoring exhaustion. My health tanked, stalling projects. Robbins' balance helped. I capped work at 45 hours, added yoga, my focus tripled, growing my brand. I coached a client named Anna, a lawyer pushing for partner, skipping sleep. She was fraying. Inspired by Robbins, she checked energy weekly, adding naps. Her case is one big, and she's thriving. Check-ins blend ambition with care, ensuring longevity. Another strategy is celebrating milestones. Pause to honor wins, big or small, to fuel motivation without burnout. Brené Brown says, joy is in the small moments we savor. Her gratitude drives her work. I celebrate talks with coffee, my energy stays high. Anna celebrated filings with friends. It kept her grounded, making partner. Celebration and care make ambition sustainable, building a career that shines for decades.
Those are such vibrant tools, Catherine. Robbins' balance, Brown's joy, it's a blueprint for endurance. As we close, what's one final piece of advice for listeners ready to develop a long-term career today?
My biggest advice is to take one aligned step now. A lasting career grows from a single, intentional act tied to your values. Think of Abraham Lincoln, who built a legacy through steady effort, saying, the best way to predict your future is to create it. For me, it was that first course, sparking a life I love. One last story. I coached a single dad named Brian, a clerk stuck in monotony, fearing he'd never advance. We looked at Elon Musk, who builds long-term with bold steps, saying, if something's important enough, you should try. Brian took one coding class. It led to IT, a degree, and mentoring youth. If Brian can grow, so can you. Pick one act today, update your resume, email a mentor, rest an hour. That step plants a career that blooms for years.
What a beautiful way to wrap up, Catherine. Brian's story, alongside legends like Lincoln and Musk, shows careers are for everyone. Thank you for sharing such profound wisdom and practical steps. I know our listeners are ready to build their futures.
Thank you, Emily, and to all the listeners. I hope you feel empowered to craft a career that lights up your life.
And that's it for today's episode of Journey to Success. If this conversation ignited your career spark, and I'm sure it did, please hit that subscribe button to catch every empowering episode. Share this with someone ready to grow, and join us next time for more insights to fuel your journey. Until then, keep planting your career tree, one step at a time.